Can you solve this cubic function under 3 seconds? To solve this, you have 2x cubed plus x squared minus 8x minus 4 is 0. For us to solve this function, first thing we have to do is to group the function, okay, into their pairs. So I can now group it into 2x cubed plus x squared in a group, then plus minus 8x minus 4 is equals to 0 in a group. The reason why I used plus is that when plus multiplies, everything retains its value. If you have this now, what do you observe? We can actually factor out terms in the first and the second bracket. So let me factor out. I'll factor out the term that I can factor out is the x. So I'll factor the lowest possible term in x. This is x cubed and this is x squared. So I can factor out x squared since it is the lowest term here. So when x squared divides 2x cubed, you are left with 2x. And when x squared divides x squared, we are left with 1. So we have plus 1. Okay? Then, if you look at the next bracket, we have minus 8x minus 4. We can actually factor out minus 4 because if you factor out minus 4, we are left with what? We are left with minus 4 divide 8x, we are left with 2x. Okay? Then minus 4 divides minus 4, we are having plus 1, and that's what? 0. Okay? Since we have this term, you observe that we have a common term, 2x plus 1 and 2x plus 1. So we can factor it out. So if I factor out 2x plus 1, okay, you can now see, if you factor out 2x plus 1, you can now see we are left with x squared. So we have it as into x squared minus 4, and that's equals to 0. Okay? And if you look at this term now, you can see I have x squared minus 4 is 0. So I can still factorize this because this is what? 4. So I can write it as 2x plus 1 into x squared minus, instead of writing 4, I can write 4 to be 2 squared. Okay? And that's equals to what? That's equals to 0. So since we have this now, you can see that this is clearly difference of two squares. In difference of two squares, when you have x squared minus y squared, for instance, the difference of two squares says that the answer is x minus y into x plus y. That's the expansion. If you agree with this, we can have it as 2x plus 1, which is the first term, into applying difference of two squares. X will now be x here and y will now be 2. So if you apply it, you have it as x minus 2 into x plus 2, and that's equals to 0. Okay? Since we have this, when terms multiplies to 0, that means each of these terms can be 0 or all of them are zeros. So we are going to find the values which make each term to be 0. So for each term here, we are going to equate it to 0. So we say that 2x plus 1 is equals to 0, or we take that x minus 2 is equals to 0, or we take that x plus 2 is also equal to 0. So for the first one, what do? We subtract 1 from both sides. If you do that, 2x plus 1, 2x will now be equal to minus 1. To get x, we'll divide through by 2 and divide through by 2. If you divide through by 2, you observe that x is x1. The first value for x, x1 is equals to minus half. Okay? Since we have this, for our x2, we are going to do what? Add 2 to both sides. So we have it that x2 is equals to what? If you add 2 here, you have it to be 2. That's the value. Then for the x3, you can now see that x3 is equals to, what do? You minus 2 from both sides. If you minus 2 from both sides, you can see that x3 is equals to minus 2. And these are the 3 possible solutions for the value for x. Please like, share, subscribe, to get notified anytime I drop a new video. Bye.